Hey there guys, welcome back to Let's Play To The Moon. This is my hello, and in the last video, we've kind of learned some stuff about River and how she has had a condition long before her illness. Also, there apparently was an incident which might have triggered her obsession with the paper rabbits. Also, it turns out that Anya is actually the Lighthouse. So River cares so much for the Lighthouse that she's willing to give up her life for it, as we see later on in the future. But how about in the past? There are many questions to be answered, so let's take this memento and go to a past memory. River? Is something very wrong, John? And so I guess we're near his middle ages. So here's the paper rabbit, the memento we used to get here. Tell me about it. It's like so many paper rabbits all over the place, but it seems as if this paper rabbit has caused John some concern. But I have to admit, there are quite a lot of paper rabbits. Quite a lot. Like way too much. By the way, this is the house in which we saw the scene with River and John in the bedroom. When they're old. So this is actually their old house before the house by the ocean was built. But you have to say, even without the ocean waves, the birds chirping really makes for, a nice sound to listen to and, wake up to. But yes, new boxes of plain paper. They're new boxes of paper. Considering that there's a paper rabbit upstairs. Could it be that this was when... Hey, it's the piano that Johnny moved all the way upstairs with Nicholas, his friend. Piece of cake for the TARDIS. Seriously? Oh, and you're continuing the conversation too? I thought you'd be like, disregard this, conversation. But no, you're just considering it. Even for him, the doctor. Nerds! Nerds! Okay, so I'll have to say, the first time I played this game, I did not get the reference at all. And that's because I don't watch Doctor Who. I'm not into it, and I doubt I'll get into it, so there. That was a Doctor Who reference, which I had to look up. But let's go back to being serious because the music. A haircut, huh? Looks nice, right? It's a platypus again. It's appearing so many times. And it belongs to her, of course. And that's quite a lot of paper rabbits all over the room. Quite a lot. Considering that the box of paper was new. Uh-oh. Not this again. This is how it all started? Oh no. Look at River's sprite. It might be a generic sprite for her face, but I can really see the disappointment in her eyes. You were disappointed by Johnny's response, weren't you? Was there something you wanted him to say? But yeah, River, is everything alright? What was up with the sudden interrogation? Care to say what's troubling you? Please? Do you want to say what's on your mind? Yeah, that is like an inverse deja vu. We've seen it before, but backwards in time. So is this how it all started? Oh wait, you know a condition? You know it too, Dr. Watts? Tell us, what is the condition? What does she have? Well, that's true. We're here to go into Johnny's memories, not River's. We're here to fulfill Johnny's wish, not take care of River. Unfortunately, because it seems like right now River seems to be the more interesting case. As if she's the one in need, whereas Johnny's like there. It's as if Johnny is misunderstanding River, like very much. As if there's a very fundamental misunderstanding. Is everything alright, River? Yeah, I guess this is when she started making the paper rabbits. But why? What caused her to start making paper rabbits? Also, what does she want from Johnny? What did the rabbits mean to her? Obviously they mean a lot to her, but she wants the rabbits to mean something to Johnny as well. There's something she's not telling us. Well, quite a lot she's not telling us. There's quite a lot we're not being told. Well, that's what I just said pretty much, but this raises so many questions, even though we've seen answers. Perhaps going back in time with his memento might help. It really doesn't help that this music is continuing. This serious music. So I guess this is their car with... I'm assuming that this platypus was River's, not Johnny's. It means a lot to her, doesn't it? What, though? There's so many questions about River that I would like to understand. So many. She's an enigma, but I wonder what effects this might have had on Johnny. And I do have to ask once again, how is all of this related to Johnny's wish to go to the moon? Well, this is a beautiful spot. Quiet, tranquil. We're in nature again. How about that? Looks very nice. Oh yeah! This is before they started making the house here. It seems as if the house was like just intruding. You could argue that, considering how River just gave up her life for that house, so that the house could be there for Anya, the lighthouse. Or that too as well, but maybe it's the view, or... I mean, I personally would be afraid of heights, since I am pretty afraid of heights. And I guess they're not. Good for them. I mean, maybe it's just the location, or just the idea of having a house by the cliffside that's so alluring. You know? Anyway, this is just an endless... These two logs are pretty much an endless loop. They go back to each other, but this log, however... Hey, we're going towards the lighthouse, and hey... it seems as if John has revealed some sort of truth that was withheld for so long. A truth that seems to have struck a chord with River. It's one of those truths that kind of gives a new light to the past, doesn't it, John? You're not looking at him, River. How do you feel about him right now? And yeah, what is that? Hey, Anya's operational. So you want him to throw this hacky sack to Anya? Sure, I guess. Would you? Was he not supposed to do that? There is something very wrong, isn't there, River? What if this memory was the night before she started making paper rabbits? What if this is the reason River started making paper rabbits? As crazy it may sound. Obviously, whatever John did, it was not supposed to be what she wanted. Then again, also, have you noticed River had longer hair? I mean, I do have to agree, her longer hair was nicer. Maybe she had a reason to cut her hair. Then again, maybe she had a reason to make those rabbits. And maybe she had a reason to ask John to throw that hacky sack. What did John tell her about their past? Makes me wonder. This gives us answers, but at the same time, it also gives us many questions. Well, at least this puzzle isn't that bad. And what? I wanted the ideal score, but I pressed in the wrong orb. It doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't really matter at all. But let's activate this memento and go to the past. I'm hoping for some answers, because we need to find answers, and then again, we also need to go to his childhood. Maybe we don't need the answers for his wish to go to the moon. Everyone with it is different, John. Are we talking about just because she and I share the syndrome doesn't mean we share the same head? By the way, I want to say this. I said before that Isabel might be a friend of River. In fact, Isabel and River are sisters. It's something that I never really deduced from my first playthrough, and it's only something that I just found out, so I thought because it was kind of unclear to me, I wanted to make it clear to you. I guess this was something I should have given it away, considering that they share the syndrome, as if this is all genetic. So, first of all, Isabel has a condition too. Second of all, this condition is genetic. Yet Isabel seems very level-headed, indeed. Very... whatever's off with River isn't with Isabel. Aloof. Maybe that's a consequence of this condition. Never really there. As if she's not communicating with you. Huh. Don't we all? Or maybe especially with you, with the conditions. Maybe that's the issue. You want to mingle, but I guess communication is an issue. Maybe the main issue with this condition. It seems as if this is the problem River has had in the memories we visited. Like whenever River would ask John about the rabbits, maybe there's something that she could have just told him. Have faith that she cares. You know, John, actions speak louder than words. Maybe you're just relying on words too much. Are you? And River wasn't. So in order to conform to society, you pretty much had to put on a persona, a facade over yourself. Actually, I'm kind of reminded of a friend of mine. I'm not sure how to say this, but he kind of goes through what Isabel just described. Like, he has to resort to acting around most people. Not because... It's just because he feels like he needs to. Because... Well, I'd rather not say what he might have or not, but... He's pretty confident that he's diagnosed with it. And that it's genetic. So that condition, her lack of communication, people just ignored her for it, huh? Or maybe she shut herself out of society for it. It's become a part of your life, even though it's not your life. Like I said before, that is the dilemma my friend faces. In fact, when he told me about it, I personally felt a bit betrayed because, I thought our friendship was based around a lie, an act. But then again, like it makes me wonder, what if my friend went the River route, where he just, didn't act? What then? That is true, this is on the past. Anyway, so we have to gather memory links. What sort of conditions, possibly genetic, would be associated with this lack of communication? These struggles. What comes to mind? Hello, librarian. I'd like to borrow a book. I said I'd like to borrow a book. The world would be easier on the eyes if people just remembered faces more. That is true. Like, just because they're not that important doesn't mean they have to be forgotten that much. John. Well, hey, let's go to these two. Is it by any chance? Yes, it is. You love that story so much, don't you? Yeah, I guess so. Does it have a very special meaning to you? Very special value? Does it ring to you? For different reasons, apparently. Must be very personal. And yes, she looks great with long hair. John was really into Animorphs, hence the Animorphs books in the basement, whereas the Emperor's New Clothes was in the study. Interesting. A wedding present? Animorph's wedding present? Yeah, very odd. I guess so. You must have loved it that much. It was like, a little childhood memento. Even though you loved them as a child so much, maybe it's just normal, Like, yeah, we just grow out of things. Video games, books, We have phases. But that is true. I wouldn't mind picking up Harry Potter books again. They are comforting. They do provide a nice escape. Just like video games. Which is kind of why I'm here, right? Emperor's New Clothes again? Whoa. There's 3 of you. I guess you're supposed to interact with all of you? What the? Okay. David's? Animorphs. Okay, so, like I said before, I sorta read those, but I never really got into them, like, to the point where I remember everybody. I just remember the vague details. Like for this example, like, I'm sure that if you're an Animorphs fan, you can get this right off the bat, but maybe we need to find out, because unless you're an Animorphs fan, you probably won't get it right off the bat. How about you, John? John? I'm not yours, you're not mine. Be my anti-Valentine. Well, I guess that might work in some... That's a very weird card. What are you trying to get her, huh? Anyway, so maybe they can help? Tobias, Hawk. Oh yeah, these names. They ring a bell. Like, I remember this name, the name Tobias. And this book I had back at school, it was mostly featured on Cassie. And it was like an alien too, right? And David turns into a cobra. Oh yeah, memories. That is true. Anybody could have googled it. And guess what? You can too. If you just type in, like, Animorphs David, you might be able to find it. But yeah, let's see what animal... I mean, now that we know, it's cobra. Let's see here. Voila! A cobra! I really wish they kept the old covers out of these plain sheets. Yeah, the old covers... Wait, they replaced the covers? But they were so cool, with the humans transforming into the animals. And the animals transforming back into the humans. That's so cool. Why don't you replace those? Anyway, so... Sorry, I got a bit very nostalgic. It kind of broke the mood. Not to mention, it kind of made this video a bit long, but... Yeah. So, I'm not sure how many questions were answered in this video. I'm sure many questions were presented. But we kind of got a bit more insight on, well, first of all, Isabel, River's sister, who has gone through the same crap River has gone through, except differently as well. Because she chose to live life differently from River. even though they have the same condition, which may be genetic. It may run in the family, but it definitely hinders communication, which may have gotten in their way of John and River so many times. Like the interrogation with the paper rabbits, or the incident. And I believe that incident was when John and River were talking by the lighthouse, and when John threw that hacky sack. Something must have upset her very, very, very much. Are there going to be answers to these questions? We shall see later on. See ya!